Professor Rossi stared at Livia with a penetrating gaze, her face marked by an anxiety that she couldn't hide. How is it possible that he always remains silent during oral tests while he excels in written tests, he wondered, without being able to find a convincing answer. If you don't want to miss other engaging stories like this, subscribe now and enjoy. Livia was a reserved girl, one of those who prefer to be noticed as little as possible. Her long brown hair often covered her face, almost as if she wanted to create a barrier between her and the outside world. She was good at school, very good. But there was something about her that escaped the understanding of others. Her family lived in San Giacomo, a small village surrounded by hills and woods where everyone knew each other and rumors spread like the wind. Eleanor, Livia's mother, was a caring and attentive woman. She had always had a close relationship with her daughter, but lately she had begun to notice some worrying changes. Livia came home from school silently, with an invisible weight on her shoulders that seemed to crush her more and more every day. Despite her good grades, there was something wrong, something Elena couldn't understand. One cold December morning, Professor Rossi, after yet another failed oral exam, decided to call Livia's parents. She couldn't understand how it was possible that such a brilliant student in written tests would completely shut down every time she had to answer verbally. Livia is cheating. There is no other explanation, thought the teacher, as she watched the girl leave the classroom with her gaze down. Elena arrived at school late in the morning, her heart tightening with anxiety. Professor Rossi greeted her with a polite smile, but a few words were enough to make her understand that the situation was serious. "Your daughter risks losing the year, Mom," the teacher said in a firm tone. "If she continues like this, I will be forced to fail her." Eleanor felt a shiver down her spine, but she tried to stay calm. She couldn't believe that Livia, her Livia, was going through something so difficult without her realizing it. Once she got home, Eleanor talked to her husband, trying to figure out what they could do to help their daughter. It was he who suggested consulting an expert, a doctor who could clarify what was happening to Livia. They decided to take her to Dr. Bianchi, a psychologist known in the area for his sensitivity and competence. The meeting with Dr. Bianchi was enlightening. After speaking with Livia, the doctor explained to the parents that their daughter suffered from selective mutism, a condition that prevented her from speaking in situations of great stress. "It is not a serious disease," the doctor said in a reassuring tone, "but it must be treated with care. If diagnosed early, selective mutism can be successfully overcome." Eleanor felt relieved, and at the same time, guilty for not having understood earlier what was happening to her little girl. "What can we do to help her?" she asked in a small voice. The doctor suggested that Livia participate in a group activity, something she really enjoyed, and that could help her express herself without feeling judged. "I know she likes theater," Elena said. "Maybe she could join the class they organize at school." So, Livia started attending the drama class. At first, she was terrified by the idea of having to speak in front of other people, but little by little, Thanks to the support of her classmates and her drama teacher, she began to feel more at ease. Professor Rossi watched from afar, still skeptical. She couldn't understand how a girl who could barely answer a question in class could succeed on stage. The day of the performance came faster than Livia had imagined. The night before, she couldn't sleep a wink, tormented by anxiety. What if she froze in front of everyone? What if she couldn't say a single word? Elena tried to reassure her, but the fear of disappointing everyone was too great to ignore. The moment arrived. The lights went out, leaving the stage illuminated only by a spotlight pointing at Livia. If you like this story, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. The stage was silent, the audience holding its breath. "Oh, Romeo, Romeo," Livia began in a thin voice. "Why are you Romeo?" She felt her heart beating hard in her chest, but she continued. "Deny your father and refuse your name, and if you will not do it, just swear you love me, and I will no longer be a Capulet." Her voice, initially trembling, became more confident as she spoke those words. The magic of the theater enveloped her, making her forget her fears. When she finished her monologue, thunderous applause filled the room. Livia felt tears fill her eyes, but this time they were tears of joy, of liberation. After the play, Professor Rossi approached Livia. "You were very good," she said, in a tone Livia had never heard her use before. "I didn't understand what was happening to you. I was wrong to judge you. I apologize." Livia was surprised by the teacher's words. She never imagined she would hear her apologize. But there was something more important at that moment. She finally felt free, able to face her fears. Livia's story teaches us that sometimes the greatest difficulties hide behind a silence that seems insurmountable. But with the right support and a little courage, even the deepest fears can be defeated. And you? Have you ever had to face a fear so big that it seemed impossible to overcome? Tell us in the comments. See you soon.